Because the social matrix is happier when you struggle hard and give it your life forces. And the purpose of existence within this matrix is to eat and cheat, create mountains of trash, multiply, and enrich the elites at the top of this pyramid who also wanna eat and cheat and multiply. And for this they need you, the working deer, the provider. The main principle here is ESBH. Eat shit and be happy. This is the essence of human nature here in the Matrix. And when you see a next sexy beautiful lady, remember she is not a goddess descending from heaven. She is a human who needs toilet paper. Hi guys. Retaining semen is not an easy task. It doesn't always go smoothly, especially in the beginning. Strong sexual tension often arises. However, this tension occurs even without semen retention. You just use to relieve it through manual stimulation. But now you've decided not to do this. Before starting semen retention, it's better to use the no-fap technique, meaning you should occasionally find a partner for sex if possible. In such cases, you might seduce a specific woman to relieve sexual tension. The main thing is to control the situation and not let it go too far. But this is very individual. Some people find happiness within themselves, while others need social interaction. The problem is, by choosing semen retention, you've decided to abstain, yet the desire for sex remains in your mind, creating significant sexual tension around you. Women around you will sense this tension, and some may be drawn to you. However, do not underestimate women. Without significant experience with them, we might make mistakes, and they might find your weaknesses and try to manipulate you. The key is not to upset the balance of significance, otherwise you might end up being either dismissed or dragged into long-term relationship with lasting consequences. There are some difficulties as well. While practicing semen retention, you end up needing to ignore all women. It's impossible to selectively ignore. That means you ignore all women, and when you meet the woman of your dreams, you suddenly can't switch your sexual activity back on. No, guys, the mind doesn't switch like that. It's tough to do. Either you ignore everyone or you ignore no one. The problem is that you have to ignore everyone. If you establish a total disregard for all women, you can't simply change and start showing sexual interest when you meet the right one. Often when the women around you realize you are not interested in them, they stop expecting any sexual activity from you. They tend to mirror your behavior. When you want to change your behavior and start showing them attention, they don't perceive you positively anymore. You have already set a pattern of behavior for those around you, and they see you as you have presented yourself. Often, if you are in the same group, changing your pattern of behavior becomes impossible because you have already shown everyone that you are not interested in women. Women will no longer expect any activity from you. They also develop defense mechanisms against you and may revenge you for having ignored them. So you revert to strict semen retention practice. In such moments, it's important not to get lost and lose self-esteem. Keep your goal in mind. And here it's necessary to find happiness within yourself. Otherwise you fall into despair and feel like a loser. This feeling will be sensed by those around you, and they might start to see you as a loser too. Therefore, the key factor in your practice is your belief in being self-sufficient and capable of succeeding. You need to be more introverted. However, it's difficult for you to abstain from interacting with women at the beginning. Then occasionally seek out available women. Alternatively, you could save money and travel to countries where the economic situation is not very well. There you'll find plenty of women who will be glad to meet you, and for small fee you can meet your physical needs. If you have financial problems, then accept this as the will of the Almighty. In that case, strict abstinence is your only option. There is one important nuance. When you see an attractive woman in a short skirt, you might feel intense sexual tension, but don't think it's only you. The desire is often mutual. Women just know how to play hard to get and don't show their interest outright. I've noticed that these sexual vibes occur when you're around women because there is mutual attraction. So avoid interacting with women. Practicing semen retention means having a strong mind and not falling under their charms. Some women may start pursuing you because they can't resist mysterious guys. Very often, when you ignore women, you end up ignoring even those you like, potentially losing the chance for a close connection with them. But each next time you take it more easy and easy, till you completely don't care. Initially, I felt deep regret about missing opportunities to connect with women I liked. But when I realized that relationships often lead nowhere, and it's better to value your time rather than nurturing illusions of being happy with a woman, you develop strong intuition and wisdom. When you ignore a woman, you seemingly increase your value, but this only works if she is genuinely interested in you. Thus, you should realistically assess your chances. There are many women specifically looking for your type of man. Sometimes you can have a short-term romance with a divorcee. They typically don't overvalue themselves as much and are more accessible. They might see you as a potential provider who will work for the welfare of your family. And mainly it's the divorced women themselves who take the initiative. You can take advantage of this, but not for long. There are plenty of women in society who cannot find a partner for various reasons, but usually they lack sexuality or have a toxic and nasty nature or other issues. Some individuals inflate their self-worth so much they end up alone, facing the same problems as you. By the way, this doesn't apply to everyone. Some guys manage to find their soulmates without any trouble, and they don't even face such questions. They somehow know how to socialize, but this is not always the case. Sooner or later, they also encounter serious problems. There are people who find perfectly compatible wives, but this happens rarely. While you are searching for a life partner, you might come across various toxic individuals who will mess with your mind, lower your self-esteem, and kill any desire to communicate with the opposite sex. But the societal stereotypes will push you to seek such interaction, because the Matrix wants you to be a resource provider, a working deer. The Matrix wants you to be a good and obedient guy, because you stand at the beginning of the hierarchical pyramid of various scoundrels and parasites in the form of different officials, lawyers, funds, credit organizations, courts, and public institutions. This pyramid starts actively working against you as soon as you enter into an official marriage and create a family, a working cell. No one cares whether you will be happy. Your task is to work for this system, making the freeloaders who drain resources from you happy. Because the social matrix is happier when you struggle hard and give it your life forces. And the purpose of existence within this matrix is to eat and shit, create mountains of trash, multiply, and enrich the elites at the top of this pyramid who also wanna eat and shit and multiply. And for this they need you, the working deer, the provider. The main principle here is ESBH. Eat shit and be happy. This is the essence of human nature here in the Matrix. And when you see a next sexy beautiful lady, remember she is not a goddess descending from heaven. She is a human who needs toilet paper. And they wanna throw a yoke on you and make you work for them. How do you throw a yoke on deers to make them work? Society instills in you from a young age that you can only be happy if you create a family and become a good guy. From childhood, you are taught to take care of girls because they are good and will give birth to children. This firmware is installed in you. Thus, the Matrix sends various fantasies and sexual images into your mind to excite you, throw you off balance, and convince you that you need a look for a mate. So that you will start chasing women and enter into official marriages, when this repressive system will start working against you. So, as soon as you feel these sexual vibes entering your mind, you must block them, immediately throw this shit out of your head. Because you've decided to abstain. And what is abstinence, guys? Abstinence is a challenge to the system. You break the stereotypes imposed on you. You are beginning to exit the matrix. And from this moment, the matrix will raise a real uproar. You have gone beyond the flags. You left the system. Alarm turns on, and red lights start flashing. Alarm, alarm. Man outside the perimeter. Man outside the perimeter. Everyone starts running and from every corner shouting at you, "Come back immediately, you're a bad boy because you no longer wanna make us happy." And society will judge you. You're a bad boy because you are not like us. He doesn't wanna be a working deer. And all the working deers will say you're a bad. And society will say you're a bad. And the neighbors will say you're a bad. And the lady on TV will say you're a bad. And everyone around will say you're a bad. In reality, you don't have much choice. Either be a good guy, meeting the needs of parasites and believing you're happy, or hack the matrix, give it the middle finger and become a bad guy. At some point, you have to make this choice. You are making this choice right now by retaining your seed. I do not claim my views are 100% truth. No one knows the truth. This is my experience with abstinence and how I see the situation. Each of us has our own life and fate. Therefore, my experience may not be acceptable by everyone, and I am not advocating abstinence for anyone. I am only sharing my experience. Whether to abstain or not, it's up to you. I can only strengthen your faith if you have chosen this path. So guys, that's all for today. Write in the comments what questions you have and what topics you want to discuss. Take care. Thank God. Bye.